How's it all going? I have no freaking clue where the window is. I gotta close a whole bunch of stuff. I hope everybody's having an awesome, oh, there we go! Yeah. It took that long. It took that freaking long and it's still not loaded. The page is still not fully loaded. I have to close down a whole bunch of stuff. There's the dog for you. She'll keep you entertained for a hot second. No, come on now. I'm going to close all of that. I got this window open here. Oh my gosh, I had so much stuff open from the whole week. It's been a very, 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 I don't even know what that means. Oh, okay. All right, close all. Very, very hectic week for me. Did a little self-care this morning. We're still waking up every morning, if we haven't been up all night anyway. My YouTube page that I opened is still not. I'm going to just close this. Hopefully that will help. I think one of the reasons it's having troubles loading. Oh, poop-a-doodle-doo. Oh no, I didn't. One of the reasons it might be slow in loading, I made the mistake of 2 hours ago loading a 20-minute video into Rumble, and it is now at 88%. So if it seems a little glitchy today, that might be one of the reasons why. Alrighty. Let me get back over here so I can at least see what's going on. And I can see my little hand going. Anyway. Oh, wow. Just wow. Wow. My phone might go off. It's got 2 minutes to unsnooze itself. So one of the things that we had to do earlier this week during the day job is making sure I felt like everybody needed to get a little more grounded, maybe disconnect from some of the daily chaos that we experience and some of the pressures that we might be receiving from outside realms. We did have a big storm roll through my area. There were, I think, at least 4 or 5 tornadoes in this little narrow swath going across in Michigan, and my building was out. No way of getting in the building except for the guy next door. We rent the building. He let me in so I could get some things. But suffice it to say, I guess it's about being flexible, rooted, not letting those types of things fluster you or me, because I can, just like everybody else, human, right? Most everybody else anyway. And this was 8:35 p.m. May 14th, 2025, and today's 17th, so it was 3 days ago. We have to, and it's like, why do we have to be so rooted? Why do we have to be so rooted and connected to ourselves? And by rooted, I mean, maybe staying, right, so grounded. Really hot all of a sudden. Is it to expel some extra energy? And, this is like a give and take through whatever it is that we're connecting to, whether it's with family, friends, or even just within ourselves or with nature. Probably hear my phone stop. So with this saying, if we're not grounded, truly grounded in the knowledge of who and what we are, we're going to continually be taken advantage of. We need to be done with it. Excuse me. We need to be done with being a leaf blown. It's good to go with the flow, but if that leaf, you just don't know where you're going. At least with going with the flow, there's a reasonable trajectory. You're going to stay in the stream or the river, right? But that's one of the reasons why we need to stay grounded. So no more allowing other people to take advantage of us. And it doesn't mean that we need to be, it's funny how it spelled it out, but I said it because I dictated into the phone, biatches. We don't need to be biatches about it. We need to be aware of it though. what it means to stand up for ourselves and protect ourselves. We protect our values and the values that we have with our words, and that's a gift. That's a definite gift. Never, So if you provide services, whatever those services are, stop giving them away for free. And I know there's good intentions there, but this has to be a true exchange of energy. And when you earn your money at a job or through investments, that is a form of energy. Most of those who are going to watch this will hopefully be aware of that. So we need to like reevaluate. I said a whole lot of things in there. I don't necessarily want to read out loud. I'm just going to throw that out there. But you know, I'm trying to make it a little more palatable because this is pretty after a rough day. So we don't want to give away our energy, our time, our care for free, and we need to bring the services that we're providing in line with those who have the quality and character to appreciate and are able to really use that energy that we're giving to them. And really it's not a gift, an exchange, because the money is an exchange. You expended energy to earn the money. So now you're going to take that money energy and you're going to give it to someone else in exchange for someone to do a service or a product. And if you have to raise your prices, because a lot of times spending more time and more money on something is going to improve the quality. That's not always necessarily true, but then it's a wasted energy. We need to kind of bring all of this stuff into balance, and I think that that's what we're having to reconnect to ourselves with. I don't know why this is all about money today. This is kind of odd, but money is energy. Tap into the original source. Tap into the original one, the original word, and we'll feel the power and exude it without regard of others, even if it's a message that they crumble and quiver at. So our words may cause people some distress, and it might be that the energy that you are providing to them, they weren't anticipating, expecting, and it's okay. It's not that it's too much. It's not too much. If it's something they say that they have a desire for, you know, I'm going to use like a reading, for example. You know, if you want to hear an honest answer to your question, be careful of what your question is, because that's what you will get from Auric Vibe. You will get an honest answer. I'm not really going to sterilize it. I'm not going to make it politically correct. I am going to try and make sure, then this is me personally, you guys have to deal with whatever it is that you guys got going on. But that's essentially what, you know, what I have to offer is something that's going to be honest and in your best interest for your highest good. Well, that didn't make me feel good, or that's not what this is about. This is about expansion and growth. Maybe I go on to say that here. Okay. It's what they need to hear, and they're choosing to hear them. So you need, so be it, right? Okay, this is where it starts to come down a little bit and stabilize, because this stuff was like really hot, and it went really quick, so I had to dictate really quick. So there wasn't a lot of filter at the time. It feels like there's a lot going on with regard to relationships again. Previously it's been about discernment and balance. That doesn't mean that's not coming into play, right? But now we're incorporating our relationship into these aspects of discernment and balance. Discernment is an intrinsic thing that requires balance for clarity and good judgment. Because if you think something makes you uncomfortable and someone ticks you off, you have to ask yourself why. and that sometimes we might get irritated, and to make ourselves feel more comfortable, we'll provide ourselves with an answer to that why question. I'm sorry if there's anybody in the chat, I can't see it. That page is not loading, not even sure if it's working on the live. You know, it is what it is. I've recently been seeing a lot of posts on platforms about feeling content and solid and self-assured within ourselves, and that we don't need another human being to feel whole. I believe that. This is especially true in these times, and maybe essential. I feel like now, looking back on this 3 days later, yes, 100%, we need to make this true. But not all, and it says but not for all, because they're not willing to accept it. Okay, so where this is going feels like it's about, no, we are feeling self-assured, but it's also about remaining open-hearted. So if we close ourselves off to ideas and things and words and people that make us uncomfortable, we might be stunting some of our growth, some of our expansion. So remaining heart-centered and vulnerable in a safe way, for some people, that's a really hard thing to do, because there's been so much trauma and that grows a lack of trust. And through that, discernment, it's like, yes, I don't trust people. Discernment, if you have discernment, trust becomes pretty easy. Or it becomes easy to figure out. So first we have to trust ourselves. All right. This is a lack of trust is initiated because of our history. The history is here because what we have in that aspect of ourselves has not been fully healed. You can go to all the healers that you want on an energetic level, but if you aren't resigned and consigned to that change, and it's probably not going to be comfortable if it's something very deep. So, I don't know where I really get this information. There are hopes of providing balance and stability and guidance and governance within each of us. And when we all align with that, we're all going to line up with each other. And when we're out of sync, we need to start asking, what do we need to be in sync with? It starts with ourselves, right? All right. If we aren't able to guide ourselves toward a healthy, open, loving brilliance, then why are we here? And it's probably been brought up because many find themselves spending a lot of time outside of an intimate relationship for many years. I could definitely claim myself in that category. So full disclosure, because I was separated in 2014 after a significant number of decades relationship that I was not aware had ended, and by 2016 found myself in a position that rendered me incapacitated. So basically I was the country western song, lost the dog, the house, the man, the car, I mean everything. There are no judgment biases here at all. There's no hatred, no bitterness for me towards any individual that abandoned me or left me, or at least making me feel abandoned, because that was the case many years ago, even though I had a roof over my head and food in the fridge and things to do. And on paper it looked great. Unfortunately, I was abandoned. So this is where it's been a major shift, because there needs to be the ability for all of the things that have been discussed, like discernment. So things are starting to come to a head, right? And it's been a major force of energy. So then there's balance, which has been finding that pendulum swing to facilitate our equilibrium. And finally, after discernment and equilibrium balance, we should be in a place of contentment, stability, solidity within ourselves, and let's not forget the glory and growth and expansions that we can incorporate by penetrating that void that escapes us. So what is this void? It's ultimately when we open our hearts, mind, body, and spirit to a degree of feeling the exhilaration of learning something new and funneling in a new dynamic energy that we will eventually present as a different facet of the one. We are a different facet. We are not a fractal or a fraction. We are. We are a different facet, which can give us the illusion of separateness. So we are the original source and the original word. Yeah. And this thing about being children of, I'm not in alignment with that anymore. I feel like there's an innocence and a gullibility in that type of perspective. If that's what you hold, fine and dandy. It's not for me. I'm growing up, and I think even in the Bible, the Christ got irritated, and it's like, what do y'all need to be eating meat and potatoes, and you're still on the, what do you call it, mother's milk. So we need to grow up. We need to all. We need to all. And it's not you, it's me too, right? That was really low down, dang skippy serious. So I'm looking for this discernment and all this other kind of stuff and improving our relationships and putting this all together. There seems to be something about drugs. There seems to be something about alcohol and changing our perception and perspective of these things, because a lot of the opinions of individuals or people are to kind of force you into a particular belief system or paradigm. And it doesn't mean that you won't go there or that you shouldn't go there. It's got nothing to do with it. This is all about what is it you're here to do. Why are you here? Sip of coffee. Excuse me, I need to absolutely write down that I need to get some coffee today. All right, so I'm gonna switch to over there. Yeah, that would mean me clicking over here. Again, I am sorry, I cannot see. The page has not loaded. All I can see is me pointing over to the board now. Here we go. And I was going to clear the board. I did not. And hopefully, because I didn't realize the microphone was so freaky far away, I shifted the board around a little bit so I have a better perspective on where the edge of it is that y'all can see with the camera. And there it is. All right. And I'll try to get this to work. Sometimes it works and sometimes it does not. And I think that what I had gotten before was if it's quiet, if this spell is quiet, it's that it's going to be a message that's going to be hard for people to hear, and some of them will have to read between the lines. Often the things that come through seem a little disjointed sometimes, but it's probably because it's picking up a message for someone. So this is definitely a timeless reading, even though today is May 17th, 2025, and I'm in the Midwest United States, so it's a little after noon o'clock. Let's clear the energy of the board and or the rest of the energy, because I did spend some time clearing the room. We'll just take it from there, from the original word, the original source, and the original thought. I mean, that's where we're going to be gleaning our information from, and whether that trickles into Akash or spirit guides, multidimensional entities, beings, energies, whatever this terminology that fits, that's going to work, and it's all for our highest good and for the benefit of all. Thank you. Let's go. Well, that was not going to be, this is not going to be a hidden message. It's not going to be difficult to understand. Whether it's difficult to hear or not, that's going to be entirely up to you. I am still led to this deck here. So I appreciate everybody. I am still putting together that group. I know I've been talking about it for a hot minute. I don't quite have enough people that are going to be reaching out that do want to have a solutions group. I really feel like that everybody has all these problems, but what's the solution? All right. And I did mention prices going up, so I'm going to take that and very possibly go onto my website, and I'm going to have to probably increase some of those. I'll probably be providing shorter, what do you call it? Shorter term options, because I think the shortest one I have right now is 10 minutes, or I mean 20 minutes. I should be able to get something done, and I might put it out there as 11 minutes. Look at that, major change. And I get from this deck, and maybe this is why, but there are some really positive, significant, shocking changes that we're going to come up with and come up against. I feel like this is going to be led towards, you know, I'm not putting it in the center for a reason. All right. Let's see what... Yeah, so it's going to be a new beginning. It's going to be a new beginning, a new thought process. Yeah, it's going to be coming in hot and fast. Now, this is about relationships, though, too. This is not about money or your job or your career, although these things may affect those. But it's our relationship, and it could be a relationship with money. It could be a relationship with people, your employment, your employer, your career, if you will. So what's hot about this is it's positive. It's not necessarily comfortable. I mean, it's like that roller coaster, you know? Yeah, oh my goodness. So the reading I did last night, like really, you saw me shuffle the cards. So we can clarify this first row with another deck. That's going to be helpful. One of the other things I might want to try and, yeah, it's getting in touch with these. It's getting in touch and realizing that we are the embodiment of having a heart-centered relationship without fear, with confidence. This is what we're leaving behind. This is what we're leaving behind. That's that Five of Swords. Because this is a very challenging, like we are challenging others, or others are challenging us. And even though those things may or may not go on, our energy, our perspective and position is going to shift away from that. Wow. Sorry, huh? This is definitely about reconnecting to our inner child and digging deep. It doesn't mean you go back to this, if you have someone that you've been with, this is gonna really. All right, so there's a lot of me going on in this right now. And I feel like that because everything's been so similar, everybody's been saying they've been struggling for, you know, the last several weeks, ever since this last full moon. I think there's been some really potent stuff going on. I need to learn more about astrology. I'm going to have to, you know, if you want to look up what's going on with you, that's why this is timeless. I don't want to get too much into that because I want this to be timeless, because not everybody experiences the same ups and downs and relationship challenges at the same time. So this is coming to an end. These guys are these guys, if you want to have a hockey term, they've had their little face off, right? So being this hermit, he's had his time, right? The stress, the struggle, the strife, these guys have had their time, all right? Yeah, and don't regret it, because this feels like there's some regret here, but it is a moving on. Don't have regrets. We are moving on and up. So we're moving on. We're moving on from this. We're moving on from isolation. We're moving on from being combative. We're moving on from all of that. More to an open-hearted, centered type of relationship. Like again, it doesn't have to be with people. Could even be with your animals, your home, your job, anything. Yep. We got some planning that we need to do. And it's okay to, ask for advice. Don't be that hermit. Don't, shut yourself away. We got a lot of options here. And don't let that overwhelm you. And no matter what option you select is going to be the right option. And the reason I can say that is that whatever experience we have is we are here to maybe learn from that. Even if it's something that we consider to be successful, we need to learn that that was successful. It's like, oh, that worked. So you learned that that worked. It's like I've done it in the past and it's worked in the past. Why wouldn't it work now? Because everything is in perpetual change. And you may not even notice the micro adjustments that you've made to make whatever this thing is work. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent. Again, I still can't see the... what do you call it there? I can't see the YouTube screen, so if you did stop by, thanks so much. Yeah, wow. 10 of Pentacles. So that is like wish fulfillment for me. That is, and it's very earthy. It's an earthy type experience for all of us. Don't let this opportunity to connect to your abundance pass you by. Yeah, how about that? So she can be kind of flighty and too much in her head. This is very earthed and grounding. And this is a really good combination, these two guys. This is really good. I heard last one from this deck. There might be more. Alrighty. Yeah, wow, look what we're going to have. Alright. So that is the epitome of success for me. And one thing to remember is that there's a level of vulnerability that comes with being that star and connecting to your etherical self. Yeah, they denied that the ether existed, and I think that they're trying to reassert that, and I don't think that's the case. I think the ether does exist, and the so-called science that everybody, it's just another form of religion, by the way. It's pulling people away, but then again, they can make a religion out of anything. I mean, you can make a religion out of a relationship or just anything, whether it's something physical or something esoteric. That's where this whole idea of balance and connection. One of the things that kind of scares me a little bit is getting too much into the, into meditation, etc. Is that if you find that can become an addiction, and you can get kind of buried in that, and you're not going to be really doing any growth. It's just going to make you feel good, and you're not going to necessarily help yourself or anybody else. If we're not helping ourselves, we are definitely not helping anybody else. Whoa. Yeah, it's going to be life-changing. Look at that. The world popped out. The world popped out here. We are manifestors and changers of our world. And wow, I just noticed this is a change and a transition into something greater that we have yet to unlock. We haven't unlocked this yet, right? But there's a, right at the top of the thing there. See, there's a keyhole. We haven't unlocked that yet. Yeah, it's hidden from us. It's definitely hidden from us. Because we're focused on what one thing that's not bad. There's no lamentation here. This is very outside a traditional Four of Cups. We hold the pearl. It's not being offered to us. That's us. We are children of the water. And that's kind of funny. Because I personally am not a huge water fan, y'all. I'll sit on the beach and put my toes in the sand, but you can wave to me from the boat. Oh, man. One more. Overall energy that we can, because this is my sacred geometry. What can sacred geometry help us out with? Again, I cannot see the chat if there is any. We'll just kind of take it from there. All right. Really, let me know if you guys want to start up the group, even though it's too small. The solutions group, we will pick, you send in your challenge or question or problem, and we as a group come together and work on that. And how long that would take, I don't know. Who knows, right? But this is about solutions. We all have the solutions within us. Sometimes we need the help of others to realize what it is, where it is, and maybe facilitate some manifestation. All right. And so, yes, solutions. So this is tapping into the divine feminine, which is our ability to reason, love, connect. What does she say on the card? Okay. So the frequency of divine feminine supports our receptive, nurturing, and soft side, allowing it to express itself openly and helping us to connect to our intrinsic understanding of our connection to all of creation. And that is exactly what I want this group to be about. So again, please do like, share, and subscribe. Reach out to my email and just say solutions group in the, the subject line, and we'll just kind of go from there. But thanks so much for stopping by, and everybody have a fantastic